I'm Sav Bell. I'm from the Metchosin 4-H Club in BC, and I'm from Royal Bay Secondary School. Today I'm going to be making a frittata. So a frittata is like a quiche without the crust, and a quiche is like an egg pie. So today we're making a crustless egg pie. So almost all the ingredients that I'm going to use today are from BC, and some of them are from my own garden. So let's get cracking. Let's go get some chard and shallots. Before we start to do any sort of prep, let's preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The first part of the frittata we're going to make is the egg mixture. It consists of eggs, milk, garlic, cheese, salt, and pepper. And this milk right here is from my own dairy cow, Jezebel. She's a Jersey, pretty one as well. So, we're going to pour 1 cup of milk. We're going to crack 12 eggs. So the thing with cracking eggs is that you don't want to hit them more than once, because if you do, then shell ends up getting into whatever you're making. So you want one nice crack and put it in. Hey, guess what? For the 12th egg, we're going to make it a turkey egg from one of our turkeys. These guys are about twice the size of a regular egg, so I guess we can make it a 13 egg frittata. So the cheese I just put in is BC cheese. Tip with garlic, which I find makes it so much easier to cut, is when you cut off the little root at the bottom here, and then put your knife up against it and start hitting it with your wrist. So what that does is that it softens up the garlic and makes it easier to peel. This piece doesn't want to cooperate, but I'm going to keep trying. Looks like I'll just have to do it the traditional way. So this garlic you see in my hand is from the farm across the street. They're called Sea Bluff Farm, and they're certified organic. And this garlic is pretty big. They're known for that. Now our egg mixture is done. All we have to do now is whisk it until the eggs and all the delicious ingredients in here combine into one mixture. Something I forgot to mention earlier is that these eggs in here are from my farm, Blue Dog Farm in Metchosin. They're organic and pastured, and this is going to be a pretty happy frittata. And a tip with whisking eggs is that if you're having trouble breaking the yolks, you push the yolks against the side, and once the yolk enters the whisk, it comes out as more of a gooey liquid instead of a whole. So we usually get our ham locally at the Greener Side Farm, but on short notice we couldn't get any, so we ended up getting Hertel's ham, which is from BC, but it's not as local as we hoped. So you want to cut the ham into little bite-sized chunks maybe. That's how I like to do it. Really just depends on preference. So these shallots here, got from our garden. Woohoo! You're gonna wanna cut these shallots very, very thin because you don't want big chunks of onion in a frittata. So the next part of the mushrooms, these are also from BC. We are going to want to cut them first in halves. Then we're just gonna thinly slice them like this. Pretty easy, pretty chill. So these leaves of chard right here from my own garden. Another item that's local from our own household. When dealing with the chard in this recipe, you want to cut right along the stem, because if you were to add the stem in the frittata, there'd be little hard, chewy bits that would not be frittata material. And then, what I like to do is I like to grab it and then roll it up, and then just cut it like that. So now we have all of our ingredients ready to go into the pan. We've got our chard, shallots, ham, mushrooms, and egg mixture. So let's head over to the stove. So once your pan is on medium heat and it's starting to get warm, what you want to do is you want to add in your shallots. Just want to wait until they're softened and slightly translucent, which might take about 3 or 4 minutes. Also, what I find helps is just breaking up the shallots with the spatula, so then it becomes nice strands of onion instead of chunks of onion. So once you have your onions and your pan is on medium heat, it's good to pour a little bit of oil in, just enough to cover it. Then you mix it around with the spatula. So once the onions are nice and brown and you can hear that sizzle, it's almost time to add in the mushrooms and the chard. Now it's time to add the mushrooms. Once the mushrooms have started to brown, it's time to add in the chard. And give it a good mix. I'm also going to add in the ham so it has a bit of time to get crispy. And I'm just going to give that one big mix, and it should be ready in about 5 minutes or so. I've got to let the chard wilt, and then we can put in the eggs. So once the chard is looking wilted and once the meat has a nice little cook to it, you want to spread this all out so it makes a nice even area for the egg to go on. Egg mixture. Pour this in. Look at that. So now I'm going to turn off the heat, and this is looking pretty good. The egg is level with the vegetables, so that's when you know that you have a good ratio of vegetables to egg. So with our preheated oven to 400 degrees, even though the pan's not hot, I still like to wear the oven mitt just for extra protection. So the frittata's been in the oven for about 15 minutes. So now I'm just going to check on it and see if it's ready. I usually poke it with a fork in the middle. Oh, it's still pretty liquidy. So it's going to sit in there for maybe 5 more minutes. The frittata's been in the oven for an extra 5 minutes. Let's see how it turned out. So if I poke it, that's looking pretty good. So what I like to do is to make it crispy. I put it on broil and put it at the top of the oven. I'm going to move that up to the top and put it on broil. So broil, put it on high. And we're gonna leave it there for about 1 to 2 minutes. So after the frittata's been under the broil setting in the oven, it's developed those nice little crispy brown bits at the top. So let's that. Wow. And I'm gonna sprinkle on a bit of extra cheese. Voila! So the frittata's done, and now I'm gonna serve it to my lovely family. Let's try this out. Wow, so good. Do you guys want to try a bite?
I'm gonna stop filming now because I'm
You
hungry.
want to try a bite?
Woo!